The first week in February was unusually wet and unsettled. But on the 8th of February, the wind changed round into the northeast, giving us a light covering of wet snow. And on the 9th, the wind backed into the north, and it looked like we'd have an heavy snowfall. But next morning, the wind was back in the southwest, bringing higher temperatures again and a quick thaw. I've bought a cheap waterproof trail camera, which will monitor the wildlife in our garden. It films short sequences remotely triggered by birds and animal movements, and will also record in darkness with its infrared setting. The shots aren't brilliant because the filming frame rate doesn't perfectly match the British system, but it does the job of identifying visitors when I'm not in the garden. The sun returned briefly around the 12th, giving the feeling that spring was on its way. And by the 19th of February, our first clump of frogs spawned. It was time to set up the trail camera again, to record the yearly spawning event, which is occurring 2 to 3 weeks earlier than 30 years ago. I'm suited with the nighttime shots in infrared, but the quality of my video camera is far superior, but both give me a record of this event which has taken place in our garden since 1984 when I dug out the first pond. This short mild spell gave me the opportunity to remove some of the dead stalks and thatch from around the pond to give the early spring flowers a bit of breathing space. But it was short-lived. It's back to the rain. On the 23rd of February, a dusting of snow on Pendle Hill, and our first miniature daffodils were opening. This year we've had much fewer frosts, but this morning the frost was keen enough to freeze over our ponds. The old knees are a bit creaky, but I still wanted to push the frog spawn under the ice. It's difficult to film anything new so early on in the year, and now we're in the last 3 days in February, but I have something a little bit exciting for me. My early purple saxifrage has just started to open. This hasn't been picked from the wild, it's just one I bought from an alpine garden centre years ago. I've tried it in the front garden, but it's always a bit too hot and dry there, but it's thriving now in the rear garden, but it's only in a pot. This has been the inspiration for many walks in previous years in the High Pennines, searching for this beautiful alpine Arctic plant. The last day in February, and already the frog spawn is developing, and the first lesser celandines are opening. It's just a case of being patient and waiting for our garden to regenerate. It's always frustratingly slow, but it will happen. But today, on the first day of March, winter has briefly returned. We'll just have to wait. March can throw anything at us.